On this episode of ResiWeek, I talk about the new technologies that I'm most excited for at CEDIA 2017 in lovely San Diego, California. All this and more on this episode of ResiWeek.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
Support for AVNation is brought to you by Chief, the global leader in commercial AV mounting solutions, and by Harman International.
This is ResiWeek episode 83. CEDIA is coming.
This is ResiWeek.
Welcome to ResiWeek. This is your weekly wrap-up of all the latest news and stories for the residential AV industry. I'm your host, Matt D. Scott for AVNation.tv. And today there's no guest. You're stuck with me. What we're going to do today is we're going to give you a quick overview of essentially the things that I am looking forward to this week at CEDIA. It is Tuesday right now when we're recording it. We are flying out tomorrow. The show starts on Thursday morning, running through Saturday down in lovely San Diego. It's going to be a great show. And there's going to be a lot of new and upcoming things that should get everybody all excited and prepped for the upcoming, Q4 and leading into the next year. So I'm going to kick it off with probably the most, and I hate to use this term, but probably the most disruptive thing that has hit our industry in quite a while, and that, of course, is voice control. Specifically, Amazon and their Echoes, both the Echo and the Echo Dot. Now, where this comes in to become a problem is that for a lot of integrators and a lot of homeowners and a lot of people that are trying to use these dots, you get stuck with a dot sitting in your kitchen, in your family room, on a counter, on a tabletop somewhere. If your house is anything like my house, your kids try to find it, make it light up, do silly things with it, long and short, occasionally messing with the house and with the system and causing all kinds of fun. Where this is going is coming to us from Origin Acoustics. They have announced a Valet amplifier. This kind of got teased a couple weeks ago. I saw it. It's very intriguing to me. So I'm going to show you really quickly what it is. This is the Valet amplifier. Essentially, it's a speaker enclosure that allows you to mount an Echo Dot into it and match the look of all of your other Origin Acoustic speakers. And then it connects over to an amplifier that gives you essentially a 4-zone, 4 Echo Dot source system, or a 6 and a 4 dot configuration. Where this gets fun is it allows you to send power to the dot and return audio from the dot into your multi-room system and the rest of your control system. This is going to be a really big deal going forward. And the reason I say that is because of a couple of things. The dots have made a huge impression in the industry. They're making waves all over the place and people love them. But what do we do with them? We talked about at the start of this how you end up just sitting them on a counter, on a tabletop. They get messed with. It's not what we do as integrators. It's not the aesthetic and the performance that we're looking for. So what this from Jeremy and the guys over at Origin, what this does is this gives us an actual install platform, something that we can actually put in someone's home, sell it to them, more importantly, but really give them the full feature of the dot and the voice activation and the smart home technology, leveraging that incredibly cost-effective Echo Dot, but give them the performance of a whole home system and things like that. One of the really cool features that was kind of teased to me about it is when you're using this, it has logic built in into the Valet amplifier, so that if you're watching, for example, DirecTV or Netflix or something, and you hit that trigger Alexa word, it knows and can be programmed to pause what you're watching so that you can have that conversation with your dot, with Alexa. Once that's completed, it'll auto start it again. So it's a true install product. I'm really, really excited to see that. I know some other people will probably be bringing some other things that go along the lines of working with the Echo and Alexa and HomePod and everything else. But this is incredibly encouraging for me to see. Moving on from that, this comes to us from some friends of ours over at SI. SI, if you don't know them, they make projection screens. They've, for quite a few years, been the company that has been very design-centric, but also innovative. Projection screens, we don't want to say that they haven't changed in 30, 40 years, but it feels like they really haven't changed up until SI really came on the scene with Slate and some of the darker surfaces that just were not the norm. They really made a great job of marketing that and pushing that down the line. Now, what gets exciting for SI is late last week, they announced their new shades line. This is a big deal, partially because everyone right now is getting into shades. At the show, Savant will be showing their new shade partnership. There's I believe a company called Moto showing shades. Shades have been a underappreciated part of the residential AV industry, in my opinion, for quite a long time. My personal company, we're Lutron dealers. We sell shades a lot. They're a great moneymaker if you haven't been paying attention to them. But more importantly, they're just another step of something that clients love to see and love to use. Automated shades are a big deal for those higher end customers. What SI's done that makes this really exciting for guys like me and people like you, hopefully, is they've obviously announced a new line of shades. The big thing for me is that it is a either encapsulated chassis system or it's open, which is, again, nothing incredibly new, but they're incredibly small in the teasers that we've seen so far. The other thing that is shocking to me is it is a inductive wireless system. So you can charge this battery operated shade with an inductive cable that just snaps on to the chassis or to the motor system, i.e. you don't have to take the shades down, change batteries, go through all that stuff that wireless shades have been known for, but also has caused those bigger chassis, those bigger containers to let you have that wireless motorized shade. Beyond that, kind of the follow-up to their shade side is their solo screen. Now I'm going to show this to you real quick. And again, we've only got a couple of things here, but this is their brand new, it's built off their shades system, and it is a portable wireless motorized screen. There's Ryan talking about it right there. I believe he's bringing an old Vita bus with him to CEDIA to show this. And as you can see in the video right there, it's literally something that they are able to pull off a wall, move it around your house, move it to different locations. Say you want to do that movie night outside. I know for our company, we have quite a few clients that have outdoor entertainment venues and outdoor theater systems, but they're not used on the regular. They're not something that most of our clients are going out there a couple times a week and watching a movie. They're used once a week, once every couple of weeks, especially up here in Canada where it's cold. This gives you that option to give your clients a projector and a projection screen that's mobile and easily used. Again, uses inductive charging. Supposedly, if the numbers are correct, it has a 2-year lifespan on this thing. It's insane. It's really, really cool, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to seeing some of the innovation that SI has brought. So definitely, if you're at CEDIA, check it out. If you're not, watch for our coverage. We'll be there. We'll be talking to the guys from SI, but definitely check it out. It's going to be a really cool thing. Moving on, a couple of the other things, and we are fighting to keep this short for you. This is something that piqued my interest. Was the August Lock is debuting a new Z-Wave version of their current August Lock, which if you know it is a back or indoor attachment that goes onto your locking mechanism, your locking system, and allows you to lock it without changing that front exterior face of your lock. So if you're dealing with, and this is where we've found success with August, which is why I was interested with this. If you have that client that has a very nice exterior lock system, they're not usually as excited to go pull that, whoever made it, but pull that occasionally $1,000 lock system out to put in a keypad or a Slade or a Yale or something like that to give them that smart home technology on their locking system. Where August is different is it goes on the back side of the lock set, the handle, and allows you to kind of retrofit that, if you will. The drawback with August has always been that it's Bluetooth only, works with HomeKit, a good solution, but as we know, as much as guys like me want HomeKit to be phenomenal, it's not there yet. This change going to Z-Wave gives them a ton of flexibility. I'm looking forward to seeing where that's going, as I am with that whole IoT smart home system. I'm very intrigued to see what we see at CEDIA, what's available and what's out there. Beyond that, one of the other things keeping on our Z-Wave vibe right now is the Samsung Home Connect. This has been talked about for a while. Supposedly it will be at the show. It is a combination Z-Wave hub, router, and gateway, including some mesh Wi-Fi. This is that product that if you followed GAFA or that whole conversation of the do it with me, do it for me side of the market, we have been, in my personal opinion, we have been missing that device that can go, that can be sold and go into a client's home that is an all-in-one. It gives them that control they want, that automation they want, as well as networking and Wi-Fi and everything else. It's not multiple systems that have to be put in place. This is looking to be potentially that product. Now, it's Samsung. That comes with its own caveat, which I'll lead to you to figure out what that caveat for you is. But because it's Samsung, it also has the potential to be a very easy sell. You go into a client, everyone knows Samsung, unless they're hung up on exploding batteries. They can come in and when you pitch them, hey, we've got this Samsung Home Connect. It's going to do this, 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 and this for you, all in one piece, all from one central location. That could be a phenomenal selling feature and a great way to do and jump into that DIY, do it with me, do it for me situation. That pretty much wraps up the fun things. The one bonus that I'm going to give you is the new trend of living art. Now, we've seen this with Samsung's Frame. LG has a product out that is again a picture frame type flat screen iteration. This is not for your everyday clients necessarily, but I believe it will drill down to that. We have a client that I talked to a couple weeks ago, and they want a 50-inch display to go on their wall to replace their old gallery wall of family photos. This has potential, as it trickles down in size and price, to become that product, to truly give something beyond an Apple TV playing back home photos or a USB stick or something in a TV, or playing off a local NAS and playing back photos in maybe not the most pretty method, we'll say. This is something that, again, right now is kind of being pitched at your higher end clients and your people that are in that vein and willing to spend that type of money on a living art display system. But I think this has great potential down the road. So those are pretty much the 4 or 5 products that I am most excited for coming out of some of the pre-show stuff from CEDIA. The couple trends that I want you guys to watch, that we're going to be watching and looking for as we wrap up, are, video trends are going to be normal. They're going to be big. They're going to be a big deal. Expect to see a ton of proliferation of 4K, especially 4K transport devices over, whether it be twisted pair category, potentially fiber, things like that. 4K it's here, and we've talked about this for quite a while, how it's here and how we need to pay more attention to it. If you are not already as far as system design and things like that. But 4K is going to be all over the place. The other thing that I believe is going to be a fairly large trend is, for quite a few years, we've had a softening, we'll say, of two-piece projection. This year, with some of the products from SI, from Stewart, from some of the Draper, and there's a lot of ambient light rejection technology coming out that has been coming out for the last couple of years, which is giving you the ability to put two-piece projection into more places. What I'm expecting to see is even more of a resurgence of two-piece projection, specifically, not so much because of the screen technologies that are coming out, because, as integrators know, there's still a lot of people that are convinced they can project just onto painted drywall. But more importantly, I think we're going to see this resurgence coming, or continuing to come, and increasing, because of the short throw projectors that are hitting the market and being more available and just out there. I personally have 4 or 5 emails right now in my inbox of different manufacturers that are making supposed high quality short throw projectors for the home cinema environment. Again, that's opening up whole new doors of potential for, again, situations where you might have a 60-inch on the wall, but you have that capability of dropping a screen out of the ceiling with that ultra short throw that sits on that media center in front of that TV. A big thing going on. The last kind of trend that, or maybe second last trend that I'm looking for, is I'm curious to see how much of an erosion of the middle ground, not middle class, but middle ground, there is with products out there. As we know, high end is still strong. It's been strong for a while, and things like Living Art and some of these products are continuing to push that higher end market. Reva's there with their custom home theater packages and things like that. Again, kind of high end, ultra high end, things like that. We know that market's there, and we know that there are dealers who will be doing that forever. We also, on the other side, see GAFA. We see the Do It For Me, Do It With Me products. We see the Sonos, the Hios, the August locks, the Doorbird's a little bit higher than that, but the Rings. All of those products are still making a big move. They're still incredibly popular, and we're seeing more and more dealers jump on that and realizing, hey, we can get a crew that all they do is install Nest thermostats, and we can make some money doing that. We're seeing both ends of the spectrum here. What I'm curious to see, walking the floor, talking to dealers, things like that, is how strong is that middle market? How strong is that, $10, $15, $20,000 theater client? How strong is that $10,000 whole home system client? Is that still there, or is that eroding to the point of non-existence? That's going to be a big thing. The last thing that I'm always looking forward to is seeing the upstarts, seeing the new guys, the young guys, the people that are bringing technology that we maybe have not looked at, maybe haven't thought about, but what they're bringing to the table and to the CEDIA floor this year. I know I've already scoped it. There's a couple that I'm looking forward to seeing. But as always, it's going to be that thing of, if you can show up on the floor, bring something cool, can you bring something that's going to ship? Can you bring something that we can make money with? Those are kind of the big things for me, is the reliability, the availability, and the profitability for me. I am always excited to see new technologies. I'm always encouraged to see people breaking boundaries, breaking molds, and moving forward with technology. What I'd like to see even more is that happening for us at a point where we can, again, make some money at it. That's going to be kind of the high point for me, and we'll see what happens. So that's all the time we have. We're trying to keep this one nice and short for you. Thanks again for joining us for this episode of ResiWeek. For myself, if you'd like to follow me, you can find me on Twitter, Matt D. Scott, and every other social platform. You can also stop by our website, avnation.tv. You'll find this show as well as a wide variety of our other shows with all the verticals that we cover. When you visit the website, please take a moment to check out our underwriters. We're extremely thankful for their support and ask that you support them as well. For all the show coverage, please visit, as we said, avnation.tv. We'll have all of our interviews and all the coverage from the CEDIA 2017 out in San Diego. Also, for sure, watch our Twitter feed, our Instagram feed, our YouTube feeds, all that stuff. We will be doing some on-the-spot coverage while we're there, hopefully making that available to you guys. If there's something you want us to see, again, tweet us either at AVNation or at Matt D. Scott. We'll do our best to find it for you. That's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on ResiWeek.